What's going on, guys? Welcome to another YouTube video. Now today we're breaking down something massive that just dropped about Battlefield 6. The Javelin anti-cheat team released their first big report since launch, and honestly the numbers that we're seeing with this report is kind of crazy, because reading over the article and taking a look at the numbers of what they've actually been doing to combat the cheaters, the anti-cheat might actually be doing something in this game compared to Ricochet. So what I did is I read over the article, I read over the report, and I just want to kind of give you the breakdown, explain what the match infection rate actually means, go over like the millions of cheat attempts blocked. I also want to summarize what EA is trying to do on taking down cheating hardware like Cronus and other similar devices like Titan too. So without further ado, let's get into it. So to kind of simplify what EA means when it talks about the match infection rate, or MIR for short, is basically any chance that in any given match that at least one cheater is impacting the outcome. So even though there might be one cheater or a lobby full of cheaters, it counts towards this match infection rate. Now what the report says is that during the first week of its launch, the MIR sat around 2%. So essentially that means 98% of all matches were completely fair, which I think is really good. No anti-cheat is actually perfect, right? They can't be at a full 100%. I think that's being delusional. I think that's not being realistic of the goals that an anti-cheat is supposed to have in these times today. But if you compare this MIR percentage compared to other FPS games that are currently on now, such as COD, Apex, Fortnite, PUBG, this is actually really good numbers. And what the article says is that during the open beta, this was their true testing ground of their anti-cheat, and it really paid off during that time. The anti-cheat was able to block 1.2 million cheat attempts. So to put that in perspective, that means a player sat on their computer, uploaded the cheating file or whatever it is to the server to see if it would work, and the game was able to block that, and was even able to hit cheaters who were actually streaming their cheats live on like TikTok or Twitch or whatnot. During the first week of the beta launch, the MIR was sitting at about 7%, or let's say 93.1% from fair matches. They were able to get that down to 2%, again 98% fair matches. But one of the biggest shifts in helping their anti-cheat was enabling secure boot. Now I think this part of the article, it's kind of weird, because secure boot, again, I've mentioned in other videos, Call of Duty cheats and other similar cheats have already bypassed the ability to run cheats while secure boot is on. So the idea that when they say that when they enabled secure boot for the players, the anti-cheat effectiveness jumped from 62% to 92%. I guess, unfortunately we don't have anything to cross-reference all of this information, so we're just gonna have to take it with a grain of salt. Now moving on to the launch week numbers. So they said that on day one they were able to stop 367,000 cheat attempts, and now it's up to 2.39 million blocks so far. So really good, still effective with the anti-cheat. And apparently the cheat attempts numbers were actually lower in beta, so I'm guessing the cheat devs are really struggling. They also mentioned that they're tracking about 190 cheat platform vendors and hardware tools. And out of the 190 that they're currently tracking, 183 of those have already gone down, either broken, detected, or they're talking about shutting the doors completely for their cheat itself. And speaking of those 183, I have noticed that out of the other cheat discords that I'm kind of monitoring, initially when Battlefield first launched, they were selling like Battlefield 6 cheats. Now when I look at the available cheats to like download and purchase, I think we're only down to maybe 1 or 2 discords that are actually still trying to sell the Battlefield 6 cheat, and who knows, maybe they're selling something that has already been detected. But nonetheless, guys, the way that I see it is that when I am playing Battlefield 6, it's very hard to verify whether someone is cheating unless it's like extremely blatant. And the reason why it's hard to verify is because it doesn't show kill cam. It literally only shows you the location of which that enemy player was killing you from, but it doesn't show you how they killed you. It doesn't show that if they were shooting all headies. It doesn't show if they're using silent aim. It doesn't show if they were tracking you through walls before making that kill. So I don't know if this is like an ignorance is bliss, where maybe I actually don't feel that there's cheaters in the game, even though they might still be. But I don't believe that because I can't actually see that in the kill cams. And honestly, there really isn't any backlash of showing kill cams in the game, besides it taking a couple more seconds before you have to spawn. I mean, you literally have to wait 4 or 5 seconds before respawning, so might as well just look at your kill cam, because at least that way you can verify a lot of things, not just blindly trust that the anti-cheat is working like they say it is. As much as I've been glazing Battlefield lately, EA is no different than Activision. I could say that they are just as money hungry, and they will do just as much of anything like Activision to create an illusion that they are doing good when they might actually not be. Just ask the Apex community, they're gonna have a big mouthful of how they feel about EA. And the rest of the article talks about what their future plan is in regards to how they're going to improve the anti-cheat, things and methods that they're going to do to stop cheaters. So for example, they're looking at TPM 2.0, HBCI, VBS. These are all built-in window features that tighten system integrity on top of the secure boot system. Now, one thing I really like about the article is that how they talk about in regards to combating cheating hardware enforcement. So they're expanding on detection devices like Cronus, Titan, input manipulators, hardware spoofers, modded adapters, and anything that is not an approved accessibility device that could be used as a cheating method. They're even talking about how they're working directly from platform partners like Xbox and PlayStation to lock these devices out. Now, if they legitimately have connections with Xbox and PlayStations and they make this collaboration to be able to, I guess, somehow give access or give a bridge, a gateway for the anti-cheat to work properly in detecting hardware devices. The reason why I say it's good that they're taking down hardware, because a lot of the players are console players, right? They don't have access like PC players do in regards to uploading a cheat, so they have to go to physical hardware first. So if they can find a way to stop physical hardware as well, that's just going to be an addition to how much other types of cheating that they can stop. They also talk about like the new reporting UIs, more context per report, faster analysis so that they can have less false positive noise. So better reporting tools, essentially, better internal tools where their analysts can now validate detections and investigate cheating patterns much faster. And then they mentioned about how they're having multiple teams work on new detection systems across the clients, servers, and additional layers of the Javelin layers anti-cheat. But the thing is, they can't give any reason or any additional detail because it's going to tip off cheat developers, obviously. But overall, that's the gist of the article, guys. In my opinion, article was a good read. But as a player who has essentially trauma, right, from the Call of Duty side, where a lot of things were said but not followed through properly, I wouldn't assume that EA is no different than that. Now, with that being said, if it is true that they are adapting all of these methods and tools and all these numbers that they're mentioning about stopping cheaters is legitimate, then we are going to see it in our gameplay. So hopefully give it more time and we'll see how everything plays out. But if anything, if you did enjoy the video, guys, please drop a like on it. It helps it tremendously in the algorithm. And if you do want to stick around for more Call of Duty or Battlefield content, drop a sub to the channel. We'd love to see you for the next video, okay? But as always, stay pure, stay noble, and hashtag bring back honest gaming. Later, guys.